Hello everyone, welcome to the top 10 reasons The Force Awakens is still okay even after what I said in the other video. We're not going to do that anymore. Me in the future who is editing this, don't do the scroll thing again. Okay, well if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it with a different song or something at least.
Everything is awesome.
Okay, that's fine, whatever. I decided to make this list because I knew people were going to be salty about the bad things I said. Oh no, you said something bad about something I love. You must be an idiot. And also, there were some negative comments about my fedora, so I decided to wear the other hat that fat people wear. And given the time of year, I think it's pretty appropriate. So, let's start with... Number one is just all of the new characters. BB-8, Rey, Finn, Poe. The relationship they all have is really cool. Poe and Rey don't have a relationship at all, which is kind of interesting. The interaction between Poe and Finn I thought was good. It's kind of weird that we kind of have two funny human characters. So I feel like in the original trilogy, it was really just kind of Han that made little comments that were funny, and then everybody else was more serious. And now we have Poe and Finn that are both kind of very similar characters. But I feel like what they were going for was the Luke Biggs relationship that was in A New Hope. I feel like that's what they were going for, and I look forward to seeing their interactions in the rest of the new trilogy. Kylo Ren's power. I know Rey tells him that he's afraid he won't be as powerful as Darth Vader, but some of the things we see him do are just really cool. It's things that we haven't seen Sith or Darkseid people use. Like when he stopped the bolt from Poe's gun at the beginning in midair and just kept it there the entire time. That was awesome. Whenever he was fighting Finn, in the woods, and like swords were pushed against each other, and then he just kind of moved the cross guard and just put it into Finn's shoulder. That's just great. Just the different stuff that Kylo Ren showed he could do. A lot of it was really cool. This kind of adds on to what I was just talking about. But the lightsaber fights, I think were definitely the best in the series. In the original trilogy, the lightsaber fights were very straightforward. And then in the prequel trilogy, all of the sword fights were like dancing. There was all this flourish and show-offiness. Wasn't in the original trilogy. And I feel like in this one, it was just good sword fighting. Like, it was entertaining and it was tense. And like, you could tell it looked like they wanted to kill each other. Nostalgia, just overall. Like, the first time I saw Han Solo and Chewbacca get on the Millennium Falcon, I teared up. And I feel like they used the nostalgia in a good way. They didn't do it in a way that felt really heavy-handed or there wasn't too much of it. They gave the new characters enough time for you to really get to know them a little bit and actually care about where they're going, in addition to showing you that these characters have been around this long and this is the life they've had so far. There's still questions, but I mean, the way that they did it, I think, was really good. Humor. Like, when BB-8 gave the thumbs up with a lighter, that was, like, the whole theater burst out laughing at that. When Poe said, do I talk first or do you talk first? Like, how does this work? I feel like the humor was the right amount of humor and the right kind of humor for that kind of movie. Especially a movie that, and I presume the whole trilogy is going to have, like, some really serious kind of heartbreaking stuff, like when Han died. So to have bits of humor in there to change it up, I think is really good. And as long as they keep that kind of flow, it'll be good. Easter eggs and references to the other movies. Like, there weren't tons of them. Like when Rey said 14 parsecs and Han was like 12 parsecs. Finn was looking for a bandage to use on Chewbacca, and he found the little ball droid that Luke had trained with. And they brought up the Death Star and then showed how small it was compared to the Starkiller base. There was a lot of little cool nods like that. Oh, and then there was like the chess board that Finn accidentally turned on, and I thought it was really cool.
Chocolate ring.
Maz Kanata. See, Max von Sydow's character, the Lor San Tekka, he died, so we're pretty sure we're never going to learn any more about him, at least in the movies. It might be in a book or something like that. But Maz Kanata is still alive, as far as we know. I'm going to assume that she's still alive, but I don't remember seeing her again. I don't remember if she was there when they were doing the planning for the attack and stuff. I don't remember her being there again. Maybe she was, and I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure she's still alive, so we can still explore the character. She might go ahead and tell us how she got Anakin slash Luke's lightsaber. But like her eyes having this, basically like a power to see into people and understand people really quickly. I think that's really interesting.
What?
This one is just the whole little flashback that Rey got whenever she touched Luke's lightsaber. And I feel like just that flashback is enough proof to me that Luke is Rey's dad. Because whenever she touched the lightsaber, I believe what happened was she got a flashback of Luke's memories. Because they're not her memories, even though one of the little segments of her memory was her being left on Jakku. Everything else in the flashback were things that happened to Luke or that Luke witnessed. Whenever Luke puts his hand on R2-D2, that's whenever Luke was going into exile. That was probably the last time he saw R2-D2. But then the part where she's left on Jakku, the only reason that would be in there is if it was Luke's memory of leaving her there. So I feel like that's like the definite proof that she has to be Luke's kid. Just the whole way that flashback worked. I think we're going to find out how the lightsaber gave her memories, which I think will be interesting because it has to have something to do with the Force. Maybe Luke put the memories in the lightsaber somehow. I don't know, but hopefully we'll find out how that happened. Luke, just Luke. He was only there for 30 seconds. He said nothing, and I was perfectly content with that. I remember thinking months ago, since he was barely in the trailers, I was like, man, he's going to barely be in the movie, and I'm going to be mad, but as soon as the crawl happened at the beginning and it said, Luke Skywalker has vanished, I think was the first line. Right then, the entire story is just them trying to find him because they need his help. I think he's probably going to be kind of like a combination of the Obi-Wan and the Yoda, because I'm guessing he's going to help them, but he's also going to train Rey. It's really cool to me that there's a character that we already know so well, that was in the older movies, and yet there's still so much mystery around him now because of the gap of time and because we don't know what's going to happen to him in the future. There's so much mystery around the character, almost as much as there is around Maz Kanata that we just met for the first time. That's just awesome. Overall, it set the tone and the curiosity that the first film of a trilogy needs to set. I want to know all these characters' pasts, and I want to know their future, more importantly, because that's what we know we're going to get. We might get bits of their past. I think it would be interesting if Finn actually did end up being Force sensitive too. It's possible. Yeah, I think we're all set for a good trilogy. And what's interesting, too, is the way that stuff gets added to the story in the next two movies. It's entirely possible that some of the things that I said I didn't like about the first movie will be rectified or explained in the second and third movie, which will make the first movie better. Unlike the prequels, which one was terrible, and then when you watch two, you realized almost everything that happened in one was completely unnecessary. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll probably make some other kind of follow-up video of just general thoughts or something like that about the movie whenever I go see it again, or a couple of times again. As always, I will see you in the next video. Merry Christmas. Ow, it hit my eye somehow.